as we're recording this, it is, let's give the game away, 6 p.m. local time on a Thursday. And 5 hours earlier, I posted a video from last Tuesday's episode featuring David Flair as the subject. Now, it's done incredibly well in the views, I was just telling Dutch. And then we got quite a lot of interesting comments as well. And one of them is from Anarchy. Your old friend, Anarchy from Puerto Rico.
From Puerto Rico.
Who's Anarchy to you?
What's that now?
Who's Anarchy to you then? So how
old he was a guy that was, he's Puerto Rican, but he's lived in the States too. And he was one of the talents, the wrestler, and funny as hell. And he would do anything you want him to do. Very good, actually. So, and he was a good friend. He was.
The message reads, this was a comment on the video, public comment. I refereed David's last match in IWA. Do I even need to read this, or do you want to tell the story? Do you know what happened?
Well, I'll add to it at the end, but go ahead and tell them what it was. It was.
David Flair, he wrestled Ray Gonzalez in Mayaguez. Am I pronouncing that right?
Mayaguez.
Mayaguez, in a match with fans surrounding the ring with belts. Excuse me. During that match, all was good until he got tossed outside onto the floor and he spread his legs as the fans were whipping him with the belts and got struck in the balls and obviously screamed in pain. I went out and helped him get up. I yelled to the fans never to strike him again during the match because they hurt him for real. David was crying and wanted to stop the match. Ray pinned him and the match was over. He was crying and I was trying to calm him down. He never returned to the IWA.
See, this was after I had just gone. I had just left. But I just booked that match. And then I left because, and we talked about this last week, Rick wanted for him to learn the business. He wanted him to, no special treatment for him, no nothing. And he did have a little bit of heat going to the ring just by having the name Flair. Being the son of Ric Flair, he'd wear the robes. He would do the strut. He had the blonde hair. He had everything. So, and we did a little deal with him. It's a Sunday town is what it was. And it was his fans surround the ring. And if you leave, the fans could legally hit you with a strap or a belt. Well, I don't know where he got it in his head that if he spread his legs, he wouldn't get popped in the balls. But apparently he did. And you know it hurt because those fans would wear your butt out.
Or your balls.
So, yeah, they would wear your little nutsack out. and I could see that he got hurt like that, and they shouldn't have done it. But I remember hearing about this match. I was in Nashville and somebody called me and said, that last match you booked was a good, and David Flair hates your ass, and he's gone. He left, I think he left the next morning, I heard. So when they're looking for David Flair, he was only there for like a month, maybe 3 weeks. But and we went over this last week, Flair called me and said if I would take him down there, keep him for a couple of months, he would come in for 2 shots in the future. I never nailed a date down on him. But I guess once David got hit in the nuts, that was kind of over, and he didn't want to fulfill his obligation, and he didn't. So,
Dutch,
my apologies to you, David, and to your little testicles. I'm sorry, and it won't happen again.
Dutch, I'm going to blow your mind. He was in IWA for over 4 months.
Well, then he must have not left the next day, or he could have left the next day. Yeah. What month was this happened?
So
I left in like October.
he joined in July, and he left in late November.
Okay, well that's about right. He wasn't. He was there a couple of months.
So there you go. So also someone else wrote in the comments as well. I don't normally reference comments, but someone else wrote that Ric Flair did the "oh yeah, I'll turn up for you" gag, and then not turn up for Dory Funk as well for taking David Flair and teaching him the ropes. I mean, keep in mind that David Flair was in the business for over 4 years at this point, and still still he was as green as owl shit as Ricky Morton.
He didn't understand the business. See, if you watch Flair's matches toward the end, every match is the same. Every match is the same blueprint for every match he had. He had the figure four, he had over the top, throw me off the top rope, do this, do that. But it was basically the same kind of a structured match that he had 1,000 times. So now, if little David had a little bit of more talent, I think he could have done something in the business. He had the strut, he had the natural heat. You wanted to punch him, and he brought his girlfriend with him too. So I don't know. It was a messed up deal. But there were very few places for David to go to train. This was before WWE. What's their center called?
The Performance Center.
It was before that. They had a few of them around like that. I think they had Louisville, and I think they may have had Memphis as just offshoots of what the Performance Center became later. But he never got there.